Sir Lenny Henry joins me now. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you, more importantly?
I'm
We're all
really
going through
good. I'm so
insane house arrest.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? You've just made Andy Peters' morning. He's beside himself with excitement.
Oh, thank you, Andy. That was so lovely.
He really is.
Nice
It's
to
great.
see you.
So, look,
Still
tell me...
earning that dollar.
I know. So tell me about the mass singer. When they told you you were going to be a blob, was that all right?
It was all right. It was okay. When I saw the costume, I knew that the designer was a huge fan of the costume because there were drawings and there were all kinds of things. And I said, it's a bit purple, isn't it? And they sort of seemed to think that was good. So actually, once I got into it and got used to it, it became like being a Muppeteer, you know. And I thought, I've always wanted to be a Muppeteer. Let's see if I can translate my character through this big thing. And I think it sort of worked. People seem to really respond to it.
Absolutely.
So, it was big fun to do, I have to say.
It did. And you had to keep it secret, of course. You can't tell anybody. You can't tell anybody about it at all.
Nobody in my family knew. My partner knew. I think the builders might have suspected something because you get a visor that you wear over your face and a big sweater that says "Do not speak to me." And I think very stupidly I put it on before I left the house. And one of the builders said, "That's a bit harsh, isn't it?" What do you mean, "Do not speak to me"? It's not usually like that of a morning. But then I started to get dressed in the car. So about 5 minutes before I arrived at the venue, I'd put the sweatshirt on and the visor. And then when we got to a traffic light just near the studio, I'd wind the window down and look at cars as they pulled up like this. You can see them go, oh! But it was lovely. And people backstage were very kind. I mean, you're not allowed to communicate with anybody. Right. So there are lovely people there, very diverse behind the scenes. There are lovely people there who bring you cups of tea and your lunch and everything. And a couple of them know that it's you, but nearly everybody else doesn't know. There was one moment when I was getting into the costume backstage because Blob's so big you couldn't get into it in your dressing room. So I was backstage and I took my visor off and I was getting the costume on and they were helping me in. And I looked up and there were electricians up in the gantry looking down going, "That's Ainsley Harriott." That's the only time, and everybody has to sign a contract, so you're not allowed to say. Right. But they knew who I was.
Now tell me this: was it a bit hot and sweaty in there? And were you on kind of wheels? Was that what was going on?
Yeah, I had to learn. So I had to learn about not using my arms, and I had to learn about walking and moving at the same time because I was on wheels. And sometimes when I spun round, I would take my feet off the floor, but I had to make sure I put them back down, otherwise I'd just go off the side. It's quite a precarious thing. Some of the costumes are quite dangerous to wear, so hats off to all the people that do the programme. I mean, it's quite a precarious thing. No, my dad worked in a factory, Lorraine. It's not that precarious. But it was really good fun to do. And what was great was some people behind the scenes, when you saw the other people, you could see them clocking you and going, "I wonder who this is." And they give you a thumbs up and they'd nod. You'd see the visor nod up and down. Right. But you couldn't tell who people were. And but there were some really nice things. There was a moment when we were all on stage together. So there's me, Dragon, Viking, Badger, Robin. We were all on stage together, and it was fantastic. I think we were doing "That's Not My Name." Yes. That's not my name. Yes. And what was lovely was people were looking at you and kind of clocking you because it was the first time we'd seen each other in our costumes close up. It was really good fun to do that. I loved that bit.
It's just terrific, and it's one of these shows that everybody can watch, and you just have a right good belly laugh.
Yeah, it's sort of I think everybody's watching it.
Yeah.
I was in a meeting the other day with one of your compatriots, Lorraine, and he said, "My wife says you're the Blob." And it was the meeting was nothing to do with any of that. "My wife says you're the Blob." And I just had to do this.
You can't say.
And then move on.
Yeah.
Because I've signed a thing, I can't say anything. And Ramesh Ranganathan sent a tweet to me the other day that just said, "Blob, laugh face, laugh face, laugh face, tears, 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 fire, fire, fire." So everybody wanted to know. People who hadn't spoken to you for months suddenly ringing you up out of the blue going, "Is that you?
Are you the Blob? Are you the Blob?" Well, Alan Carr thought it was Morgan Freeman, so I think that's pretty good.
Thanks, Alan. I think it's Morgan Freeman. Thanks a lot, Alan.
No,
It was
but
very funny. Some of the guesses were ridiculous.
They
Joe
were-
Wicks.
I know, Joe Wicks. I'm not sure about Joe Wicks. But
Ainsley. I
Morgan
mean, I
Freeman-
love Ainsley, but really, not Ainsley. Some of the guesses were very, very funny. Stephen Fry. I hope Stephen was watching. That was great, Stephen Fry.
Fry's the Blob. But did
But
you
it
ever
was
think in your career that people would say to you, were you the Blob? I mean, it's just...
No, never, never ever thought I would be known as a blob.
It's
And
brilliant.
you could see, like, if I was in a shop, it's like when I do children's things, I did characters called Big and Small on television. And one talk like this, and one talk like this. And you're in a supermarket, and you're saying, can I have those parsnips, please? And a small child turns around and goes, that's the Blob.
Lenny.
No matter how much you try and disguise your
No,
voice.
you can't. You can't. I know they tell you to. Thank you so much for joining us. I've got so much to talk to you about, so much. You need to come back and talk to me about all of your projects that are coming up, especially with your
I'm
mum.
going to say quickly, March the 19th, Comic Relief, share a smile, funny is power, cheer yourself up. It's not all about raising money, it's just about giving people a laugh in these cold and sad times.
We need it. Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.